was watching Globebusters, and they mentioned stars, and there was somebody in chat, uh, Aura, Aura something. She was saying that the stars are portals for consciousness. And I thought, wow, that's kind of similar to the ideas I've been spouting out. I didn't really go that far with it. I mean, I kind of did, but not with the consciousness, and that's my whole deal, right? Consciousness is real. You know, I've really felt. Not, I try not to believe anything anymore because beliefs change constantly. But I really feel that and I felt for quite some time now that the stars are not suns with planets revolving around them. And ever since I believe it was Crow 777 proposed the idea about the liquid space and all that. Outer space doesn't exist, but with the stars I've known, or I've really felt, can't say I really know much. And I'm wondering about that big bright star. Is that a consciousness portal? Is that maybe where we go towards to the stars? Or is that something completely different? Are you answering me? So I was talking to this guy today, asking him about the Berenstain Bears and the Mandela effect, and he pulled out his phone and showed me that. So I'm watching this video from Mandela Affected, and he says the crash at the Pentagon on 9/11 looks different, and he doesn't recall people dying. I don't recall anybody dying inside the building either, except what they said was on the supposed plane. They're saying here 125 employees at the Pentagon died. I don't remember anybody dying because, like he said, they were doing renovations and nobody was on that side of the building. Mandela effect? I don't know. What do you think? Just being realistic here. There are many theories on what the shape of the planet is: flat, concave, cell, different portals. Some people even think it's a globe. I may have to recant my idea about the stars not being there while the sun's out. Recant it or keep it as an idea. My ideas can be wrong. Answering me again. So this is just coming to me now. I'm sure it's come to me 100 times before. When I went into the cigar shop and saw the stars and talked to somebody on the phone and didn't happen. I mean, all those things could have simply been me shifting into another dimension and back out again. And with me shifting in and out of those timelines or dimensions, that happened because that's where my focus was. I was just all into the Mandela effects and flat earth information, and I was reading and watching videos. That's all I was doing. So that's where my focus was, and that's when I was experiencing those things. I believe this was pointed out before, but eBay, when you search it, it comes up with the capital B, and when you get to the site, it's a small b. And I remember the big B always, but I believe that was brought up before. Personality changes. Now, I started to notice it right around when the electronics started to go down. But now, I mean, it's like people are it's like a switch. Not just online, I mean, not even online, more, the people that I'm physically in contact with don't seem to change. But I'm not near them for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. It's like total flip. Just a little strange. I don't know, maybe it's just because of the energy that's going around. Like we had the funky energy a few months back in May, I think. That's something I'm noticing. Other people are noticing too. I want to link. And the change of attitude brings me to, okay, we may have shifted into another timeline where people's consciousnesses just aren't here. I mean, they're experiencing something else. Probably all that fear-mongering they're being fed. One thing I've definitely been noticing is people speaking and having things happen. I've been creating things just by my thoughts. And I have to be careful of my thoughts. I'm going to probably be on the road again, but it's what I wanted. And I was thinking about it, and boom, now it's a little exciting. I'll probably just travel west, but I've noticed other people, they'll say things, and sometimes it's months later, sometimes it's days later, and the stuff is happening. So I'd say be aware of your thoughts, because I think that's what we shifted into, where we are going to create this, and it's going to be more direct. Since I was going to get deep and go, I'm the only one in this dimension, and it doesn't really matter. It only matters what my thoughts are. Every single year, this fear-mongering goes on around in September. I can't believe it took me so long to notice it. Well, I've noticed a lot of fear-mongering, fear porn, time to prepare for the worst. Hey, if you happen to be in that timeline where shit hits the fan, my advice is collect silver, buy silver. That's what you could trade with. Get a month or two of food and water, and worry about what you're going to trade. You're going to trade silver. That's going to pan out more than anything else. But I need to stay away from that stuff. It's not my perception. I said long ago, it's about what's in your perception. That's my perception. I love that video. I'm not trying to upset people that want to fear monger and the fear porn, and you're watching it. You're watching that. If you want to prepare because you think Armageddon's coming, or because they're gonna shut the stores down and you're not going to be able to go anywhere, and martial law, and they're going to put you in a FEMA camp or whatever. If you're watching the news, that's what you believe. If you're watching TV, that's what you believe. If you're watching the fear-mongering porn on YouTube, then that's what you believe. I mean, why would you watch that stuff? I'm watching TV. I keep saying it, but you people are watching TV. I hear every one of you every once in a while mention Hillary or Trump. Stop watching your TV. I'm not just saying that as a joke. It's when you mention those things, you're watching fear porn on YouTube or TV. I don't understand it. I'm trying to help you. I ain't mad at you. I don't care. But I've heard many people do this stuff on YouTube recently, and I stop. Sometimes they got good information, and then they fill it up with this fear stuff. No. Just shut it off. You don't need to listen to that. I really like the idea. Some people are saying the Mandela effect has put us in a simulation, or has us in a simulation, like the Matrix. I like that idea, because my theory as far as shifting our consciousness into other timelines, that goes right along with that. Or it can, especially if we're in a simulation. To me, it would make more sense. The wind on these things keeps hurting me. I don't know. Anyway, I've been catching a lot of videos where some people, some psychics or intuitive people are saying that you might start to hallucinate or see things or see demons or ghosts and whatnot. It's a possibility. It's, you know, you may start seeing things. I'm thinking I already have with the star situation. Maybe that's what we're going to start saying, stuff like that. But I'd say it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm trying to get away from the wind. I don't know if that's working or not. Put on your seatbelt. I'm going to, and always check my links. I try and put a bunch of links to this. Like the last video, I think I put a bunch of people on the Mandela effect over there. And a lot of interesting theories on the Mandela effect. I check those links. All right, that is due west. This is due north. And what I don't understand about the clouds is, not with the clouds, with the stars, are at night when I'm over here, there are stars coming up from the east, actually. And I have the Big Dipper over here. It's here, and then it comes around here as these stars are coming up, and I don't understand that. And I have no camera at night to show you this, or you know, it would take hours. But I came out last night around 8:30 at night. The Big Dipper was kind of over here, and then it turned and was almost sitting straight up over here as these stars were getting brighter and coming up over here. It just doesn't make sense to me as far as them being moving all in the same direction. And that's what I've been seeing, and I don't know how to explain it, unless of course now I'm up north, so maybe they're coming up and going around already. And I don't get that, because when I was younger I had one of my parents pointing out the Big Dipper to me and showing me that the Small Dipper was connected to the Big Dipper. And I recall this as a child vividly, that the Big Dipper and the Small Dipper were connected. One star connected both of them. And I just wonder if that could be some sort of Mandela effect, or like the continents changing. They say the stars changed. So I've been wanting to get that out there. I wonder if anybody else has that memory that the Big Dipper and the Small Dipper were connected. Notice that entertainment. I put Netflix on. I was watching something that I watched before, and it's so bland. It's not as, the acting sucks, and it was not like that before. You know, for 1 second, I just wanted to get away from all this, and you can't, because you know, the music was changing. Now it's like watching old TV shows that I watched before, just, and not old either. I mean, the acting, that's what I'm trying to say. The acting just is bad. The acting's bad, and Netflix is just as bad as watching the news or any other kind of media. It's all programming. But if you're seriously still watching the news and the presidential election stuff, I mean, give yourself 3 days. Don't put the television on at all for 3 days. See if you can do it. And see how you feel after the third day, because the first day you're going to be climbing the walls. Is that New Zealand? Northeast of Australia? It's been a year for me now since I discovered the information on the Earth not being a globe, flat Earth. And my first video, I said it's about what's in your perception. And that's the truth. And that's where I'm still at. It's about what's in your perception. It's about what's around you. I am entertained and interested in the interviews, in people, their theories on if it's flat, concave, inverted, all the different theories. I'm interested in listening to them. I don't think we're ever truly going to know what the shape of the planet is. I'm not sure if we're really supposed to know, but it is about what's in our perception. That's what I'm going with, and that's it with me for flat Earth. I mean, like I said, I enjoy watching the interviews and people trying to discover what it is. But I am totally more into the Mandela effect and the things that are going on with that. And I think that's more important. I think that's what we should be looking at. There's so much separation in flat Earth because of the different theories. Everybody's entitled to their own theory. The Mandela effect is showing us something. And flat Earth, to me, the information is a Mandela effect, but it's also a distraction. It's distracting everyone from seeing what we truly Seriously. Are. Hypothetically, once someone discovers the shape of the planet, how is that going to affect your life? That's it. It's not. It shouldn't. You're going to be upset and hurt, and you get over it. I've been through it. Quite a few other people have been through it. You get over it. You get angry. And then you get, I don't know, fighting mode. You're not going to be able to do anything to change it. The government will fall, money will fall, and we'll just trade with silver or something else. I mean, but there's nothing that you can do. It's about what's in your perception. Nothing's going to change. You're still going to have your perception. Once they discover the Earth is malleable and it changes from globe to flat. It depends on where your perception is. Where do you want to live your life? That's where you're going to shift. That's where you're going to experience your life. It's about your perception. And you can't see the entire planet no matter where you are. So it's not going to change anything. Because the people that are in the Mandela effect see that things can be changed. We manipulate or use the energy and create our reality. And I don't want to separate flat Earth from Mandela effects, but I think flat Earth is a Mandela effect as far as the information goes. At least for me, it showed up out of nowhere when everything else started happening. And what can you do with flat Earth? Because it's been a year for me now. So what do we do with it? Nothing. You don't do anything with it. It's over. The Earth is not a globe. It's a different shape. We've been lied to. We're still going to live on it. And the Mandela effect. Physical reality is changing. Your past is changing, and it's suggested that you can change your future and live the life that we're expecting to live. Somebody said there's a lot of separation in flat Earth. Yeah, there is, because it's not a globe, and many different groups have many different ideas and theories, and everybody's entitled to their idea and theory until somebody comes up with a definitive truth, which I just don't see happening. I don't see that happening. We are, forever going to not know what we live on, what the shape of the planet is, and whatever, that's fine. And when we find out, what are we going to do? Try and break out? Assuming some of the things I feel. Yeah, my feelings on it's probably flat. What shape? I don't know. Is it domed? I don't know. Probably with more land on the other side of the South Pole. And it probably shifts and changes depending on which timeline you're shifting into. Flat Earth is nothing more than a stepping stone to help you change your perception. That's what happened to me. It changed my perception of reality. But that's all. It's time to let go of that and move on. It's time for me to let go of the Mandela effect and move on as well. That also is just a stepping stone. And the time things and shifts that happened to me, they were showing me what's going to be coming up. That's what I think. And these things are stepping stones. You know, we can form and shape our reality the way we want. That's where this is going. Doesn't matter what shape the planet is. I really recommend, if you see, for me, that's what changed my perception. Discovering that I can't prove that the earth is a globe and I can't prove that it's flat changed my perception of reality. And that's when, things just started to happen for me. Everything I want is happening. I don't understand why the Mandela effect did not change my perception. It's, to me, physical reality is changing. A lot of people don't see this. The people that don't see it, that they get on YouTube to yell at you and ridicule you, they're upset that they're not included. They will be soon. I don't think it's going to be a problem. And I think that's, it's just going to keep getting more obvious and more obvious. I just don't care anymore. I don't care that it's not a globe. I'm more interested in what's in my perception. I'm more interested in creating the life around me. And if I'm going to be into a conspiracy, it's going to be the Mandela. Flat Earth is nothing more than a stepping stone to help you change your perception. I've done a couple videos on this topic. I don't know what I'm going to post. I just don't like the way I articulate things. It's been a year for me with discovering flat Earth information, and it doesn't affect me, whatever the shape of the planet is. I am on board with it not being a globe. I don't think we're ever going to know what the shape is. I think if we, there's no way you're ever going to actually visually see the entire planet. So you personally are never going to know. You're always going to take somebody else's word for it. So, no, the Earth's not a globe. And there are a good handful of other theories out there of what it is other than a globe. Flat is the big one. Most people believe it's flat. Some people believe it's concave, and I found out that's been going on before flat Earth. I didn't look deep into the Pac-Man theory. I came up with a theory. I mean, it doesn't matter. My theory was totally ridiculous, but whatever. Hollow, inverted. There's quite a few theories out there. But like I said in my first video, it's about what's in your perception. If you're putting TV in your perception, that's what your life's going to be. If you're putting love in your perception, that's what your life's going to be. And it's more and more defined as your thoughts are going to create your reality. But I still going to follow the Flat Earth community and a couple other communities I've been checking out. Not as big as Flat Earth, but yeah, it doesn't matter. And I believe Don, there was a video where my buddy Donnie was saying the same thing. I don't know why I didn't wrap my head around that then. I felt like there has to be a reason. It must matter. It has to, it crushed me for a while that I was lied to, but everything's a lie. We know that now. Never heard of a black moon before, but apparently September 30th, 2016, we have a black moon. Yeah, I'm going to be concentrating my energies into the Mandela effect and the stars. I'm going to start coming out. I'll see if I could film things or explain what I see. So last night on the stars, that direction is northwest. No, it's correct, northwest. And the Big Dipper went down over the horizon, right over northwest, and kind of pulling north. And there were other stars coming out over this way. And I didn't follow all of them, but I'm going to take a peek. Something else I wanted to talk about, and I didn't because I don't know the name of this thing, but I'm up here at over 10,000 feet. And there is this band of clouds. say about 9 o'clock at night. It goes from southeast, I guess south to north. It kind of goes, I guess, at about 9 o'clock. And this, I just assumed it was clouds. I'm like, wow, it's weird that it's always cloudy here. My roommate tells me it's the Milky Way. It's space dust. And I'm like, what do we got, a ring around the planet? Over, but it was moving. And then I came out a couple hours later and it was like this. And it's a cloud. I mean, it looks like a cloud. I got to find out what it's called. And it was about midnight and it was like this. Yet. So I'm going, okay, if we're flat, it's turning like that. It's a line. It's a line. I would say, whoa, it's probably all the dirt on the dome. Maybe that's all our cigarette smoke. I don't know. But it's a line. And he's telling me it's always there and you just never seen it before because I always lived in the city. And I have to find out what it's called. If we're stationary and this thing is moving from here to here, if we're there, it's moving. It's moving in a circle. That thing is, it's there every night. That thing's going to show what's going on. If we were spinning, that line would be going the other way because we'd be spinning that way, correct? Wonder if it'll come up. I don't normally do any shout outs, but I felt it was appropriate here. There are quite a few channels I admire, so if I miss anybody, apologies. There are a couple of people that helped me out personally while I was going through some effects and changes, and I just want to give them a shout too. And some people I really admire their videos or the things they're saying on YouTube. Jennifer Forbes, thank you. Patricia Steer, Jazz Sinclair, Lori Gale, Life Matrix, Moneybag 73. I had a list of more. I just, not off the top of my head. Conspiracy Mystic, hello. I just want to give them a shout, and their links will be below. You see that link that just popped up? You really should watch that. Stasha Erickson, she's pointed out some things that are going on with YouTube and some other interesting things as well. And also Globebusters, Jaron, Brian Mullen, the things that Mark Sargent, the Flat Earth Clues, that was a enjoyable series. Although I think should have been called The Earth is Not a Globe Clues. Now it's 10 o'clock at night, and this is the direction the Big Dipper was in, and now it's right there, and it's lower in the sky, and it's bigger than it was before. All right, it's midnight. The Big Dipper is over the horizon except for the top of it, and it is practically went northeast from where it was when I first saw it. Can't imagine you can see any of this really, but that belt or whatever, the galaxy, the Milky Way that they were telling me. A few people have been saying, yeah, that's what they're calling it. It looks like a belt to me. It goes all the way from one end to the other. That has turned, and it is almost, after another hour, it'll be directly east to west. You just can't see that. The Big Dipper is closer to west It's about 10 to 8. And it's smaller. And then I remember it last night before I lost it over the horizon. I can barely see that dust cloud. It goes right around like that. It reminds me of a rainbow. That's what I was trying to figure out. How I could describe it. It's very faint. Barely see it. But I would say it's like a rainbow. And it turns. I've been thinking about these conversations we used to have on MandelaEffect.com about how what happens to, okay, if we shift into another timeline, what happens to the people that we left behind? People were worried about them. And I found that interesting because the way I see it, when somebody dies in my life, that was all pre-programmed to teach me a lesson for whatever reason. If something happens that I am perceiving, it's for me. So with leaving people behind, you're not really leaving people behind. They're just in their own little timeline, dimensional bubble, experiencing what they need to experiencing to grow and learn. And I found it weird, having these thoughts, and I wanted to express them because they are things that we discussed on that site. About how you're really not leaving anybody behind. You were never really with anybody except yourself in the first place. Everything around you is for you. And what you do with it is really up to you. Kind of like in this timeline as far as how information goes. Last two people I ran into, I mentioned that the Earth was not a globe and a couple Mandela effects. When I mentioned that the Earth was not a globe, the girl looked at me like I was crazy, but not because I didn't think it was a globe, because I ever thought it was a globe and because I ever believed them. And she started talking to me saying, oh yeah, I know about that stuff. I'm all into conspiracies, but I knew it wasn't a globe long ago. And that just, blew my mind. And so the guy I'm talking to, he starts talking to me about Mandela effects like I've talked to him about it before, never seen him before. And then after a while he's going, I thought you were somebody else. So I thought that was really strange. But I've been thinking, and I've said something similar to this before as far as us all being in our own dimension, in our own little dimensional bubble. I'm thinking I'm the only one experiencing any of this. And all the other bodies out there their consciousnesses are somewhere in their own little dimensional bubble that they're experiencing things. Are they experiencing the same things? No. Their consciousness is somewhere else. The body that's here is just not being utilized. It's not being used by that entity, by that spirit, by that soul, by that being. I hope I articulated that correctly. I know I've been using that word a lot. For instance, if you interact with me in your timeline, I'm not actually conscious of that. I'm just conscious of this. Take the time to watch the link below. Although I'm leaving this area, still don't like saying it. So somebody asked me, how do you magically shift into another dimension? You know, where the Illuminati's not taking over and all the fear mongering can't happen because they're not in control. You know, I thought about that for a long time. You know, and it's the first thing you do is forgive them. Any, you know, don't give them any energy. Don't give them any power. How do we do that? Don't watch TV. That seems like a new concept. Don't be susceptible to their programming. Don't watch it. You know what it is. Don't watch it. Um, you know, start there. Forgive them. Realize they can't hurt you. You are in control. You are in control of your reality. Nothing can hurt you. If something's negative in your life, forgive them. Move on. You know, and that'll help you shift into a different timeline, dimension, whatever you want to call it. The only reason I'm making this video is so that you'll watch the link I'm posting below. It's a great video to watch. Watch that link.
Then in 2016, the earth shifted beneath our feet. The rebellion started.